What's up, everybody? This is High Channel here. In today's video, what we're going to be talking about is the band list of Speed and Rush, which will go live on the 25th of this month. So the first card will be Caliber Turtle will be banned. So for one of the cases is that this card could one turn do it's a combo you can use where you could end the duel simultaneously, because with Utopia, so if the attack points of Utopia, just say Utopia Ray it's Utopia Ray Leo Ray, yeah. And if its attack points are like 8,000, then if Caliber Turtle triples it, you take 4,000 points of damage. So this card is banned. So I just say, like, some other way. I just say this, that these people, when they duel like this is just way too easy. So otherwise, that's all for that one. Okay, the next set we're doing for the Lemonade 1. So the first card is a Shallow Trap card, which comes to Lemonade 1 because it was able to do a whole lot of stuff. Because one of the other effects, so the first effect was on the field, it could target one of the shadow monster in very special summon either face up or face down. So it then also on the good side note, you go that's only like a once per turn thing. So basically on their next turn, they could flip that monster face up, unless they have some other effect. If they fusion summon the next turn, because like the crazy things about the Shadow deck is that they can flip any of they face down monsters to face down monsters. Well, never they sent to the graveyard by a card effect, which most certainly by fusion summoning or using some other effect by that. And the crazy thing is that they also got other effects that destroy cards and return to the hand and other effects like that. But otherwise, this is being used way too much as it is because they have multiple copies. And what I could guarantee is that we have like a build-up box for the speed, because I know Rush pretty much is we probably not gonna get anything at the moment because what's the title that's going on, because it is a championship that's coming up in August. So. And then we have Sonic Jammer. So Sonic Jammer is basically a card that prevents your opponent from activating spell cards until the end of the end phase of the next turn. So that's gonna be kind of like a tricky. That's gonna be a tricky moment for you. It depends, because most certainly some people don't use spell cards like that in their deck, depending on what deck they're using. So otherwise, this is another flip monster. This is flip monster effects. And then the next one is Guard Dog. So Guard Dog is a card that prevents your opponent from special summoning for the rest of the time. So I never encountered it also with Sonic Jammer, so I never encountered either one of these cards. And also Wind World Weasel. So so if your opponent cannot activate any spell trap cards for the rest of the turn. I did add this to Dangle deck. So it's just very useful. So now they put it to Eliminate 1. So I just say that this would probably be the best bet for you to use, because this is using that kind of deck. But it's not used as much, but they just used it. I guess they just put it in as a way. Alright, so the next one is the Lemonade 3. So we have Exceeds Gift and Exceeds Change Taxes. So more basically, the more useful thing, so the cause is the life points. I'd rather use life points than detecting it, because you're going to need it. So if you Utopia monster sees something, you can pay 500 life points to draw one card. So this continues. But on the downside for this is that with this card is that you are sacrificed depending on what kind of exceeds monster it is that you sacrifice those materials for. But I think it's probably gonna be useful anyway. So more basically, what I'm also just saying is like limited three. Most of the limited threes that a Utopia deck uses, it's not gonna use that. It's gonna use the protection. I think it's called protection numbers or whatever it's called. It's like two exceeds cards that's going to be morely used, like numbers protection. So this is another. This would be another card that you could be able to use. But I'm trying to search for a exact card that could be. That's another card that's also being used. Okay, so far it's kind of at the bottom. Okay, is this one. So just in case. Now, one thing for sure, if you is playing against a Utopia, if you using the same deck Utopia, you can use this so they won't be able to use the regular magic card. That could also be a good thing too. So they already just say how what's his most used in is Shark and Utopia. So it's understandable that I don't see why this not on the list either. But I don't think it is because they using other different strategies with it because they don't need it. They just really just need the numbers protection. All right, so moving on for these two. So it's more likely they gonna have this. But for me, having when I build a Utopia, I don't use this. And then like for the reshadow window, this card is basically just special summon a monster from your deck face up or face down. It's the same effect applies when it's sent to the graveyard, but you have to special summon the monster face down. That's the only difference. And that's not this is not gonna change. No, I'm just telling you that it's not gonna change. No. The only what the trap card is nominated one. It's still not gonna change. No. So yeah, let's move on from that. All right, so the speed duel cards that's going to be eliminated is going to be Dragon Maiden, Cyril. So this card is basically like a negate thing, and then it's able to special summon another monster, a Dragon Maiden from the extra deck. Well, just basically house Dragon Maiden. So yeah, so it's hopefully we'll be able to get a chance to get another. And then we have Stellar Wing. What? I don't know if I'm saying it right. So yeah, basically this card gains 300 attack points each time another monster effect is activated while the attack monster of this card is less than 4,000. Once per turn, if this card is 4,000 higher, you can shuffle both this card and all monster your opponent controls into the deck. So yeah, more basically this is like this is a card that also could do a lot of damage with this. But it's not exactly a necessity anymore because it's barely used. And to be honest, I actually forgot I even had this card. I do. Well, actually, I do. It is just way a long while. Yeah, this card was released last year in July. All right, so we have the hidden city, the field spell that's basically a sub terror card, which could do a whole lot of damage. So when your opponent declares a tag, you could change one face down monster, terror monster from your control to face up. The type of thing could negate the attack. So pretty much the main considered point of it. But basically the first effect once per turn you could change one face down defense position to terror monster control to face up attack and defense position. Yeah, because one other thing is that it's a noose. Okay, the support that we're using, the one that can negate stuff where another monster is face down, we can negate it. So it could be used. So yeah, it can negate stuff. Then the other one is one of the other ones that's added to Duel Links. It could destroy set cards too, and it can also banish cards too. The other one can banish cards too. So yeah, it's good. It's good in a way that this is off the ban list. Then we have the Servant. So this particular deck is more basically for you to just say you are trying to just prepare. You basically preparing for the next turn. So more basically, you gonna have something that you could be able to fusion something the next turn, or you trying to destroy your opponent's monster bat, another effect, or just trying to add a card from the Fall Angel as a build. This is basically this is for. But otherwise, this card ain't as good as it is now. Because until we get more support based on that type of deck, we're not going to be getting that much deck. Because you know the dominant deck, like the other one, get the support from that. It cannot be. They have effects that could protect themselves from extra deck monsters, which mostly you're going to be going against before anyways. So yeah, so it's not a problem. Then we had Cursor at the activation device, which is off the ban list. So yeah, that's not a problem anymore, even though it still is being used other ways. But we have the new. So since we have these top decks, they're not using it like that. They're using like just mostly negate cards and more the other cards. So it's not really a problem. Okay, Infinity Launcher is off the list. So one other thing is that this is not going to be a problem anymore. Just give me a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so alright, like I said, Affinity Launcher is limited now, and the main so even though this card could do still a lot of damage, it's not anymore. More busy, it's not going to do as much as it did before because we're getting more support and anything. So it's not. Next card, Salmon Grape, well, is off the ban list. So the main reason this card was even banned because it prevents your opponent from activating spells or trap cards by sending Salmon Grape from your hand or face up to the field of the graveyard to target same monster that can activate it this turn. So alright, so moving on to Rush. So Rush will have a lot of stuff that's gonna be banned limited to limited one. So it's basically limited one. Constructed activate devices limited one. And it's crazy that the other one that speed just got off the limitless, but the one in Rush Duel is in limited one, the same as the gate attack is. Yeah, so most part, mostly all the decks was using this. So yeah, that's the most reason it should usually a lot. Then we have Pot of Green, because Pot of Green was used way more than it is. And like the 7-row deck, the Galaxy deck, the Dark Galaxy too. So yeah, it was used in that a lot. So that's why it's limited one. So I could already tell which decks I could even look at. Yeah, because after I'm done with this list, I'm gonna show what's the decks, how the decks was, and I'm gonna exactly the decks that was in the KC code. All right, so the next one is Scrubbing Santa Claus, Santa Coat. So this card could basically draw your opponent could draw cards equal to the number of monsters on their field, and you gain life points equal to the number of cards they drew times 300. So this particular card basically is a card that requires that lets basically your opponent went like if you use this or your opponent uses this is basically a card that's like a stun deck that you could basically let your opponent draw cards until it empty because you remember that in Rush Duel you draw whatever card how depending on how your hand is. So more basically this card definitely did also put it in the mix. So more basically yeah this is gonna be way more hard than it is. Alright, the next card is Dark Hole Device. It was just limited 2, now it's limited 1 because it's used way too more. And also it is you don't have no backup support because imagine if you don't have no trap cards and they use this is gonna put you in a very tight spot, especially if they control a fusion monster. So yeah, so far the Light Galaxy not getting hit as much. And then we also have the cards that's being limited too. So we have Miracle, which is another psychic side card, which they did do a limited list the last time on the psychics, where they made it the skill hard, and then they limited some of the other cards too. So yeah, so I'm guessing Roman might be having some kind of support that's coming, but otherwise for this, I don't think this will. I don't really think this will do any damage as it is. It would probably will be, but nah. But yeah, otherwise they just decided just to hit it again for some other reason. I don't know. And then we also have Transform Klein. Yeah, so this basically a monster that adds a normal galaxy type monster from your graveyard to your hand. So one other thing I'm just thinking about this will not matter. I'm just letting you know this right now. This is not matter. They could just have one of this and they could have that ship monster, and because the ship monster, depending on how many cards you got in your graveyard, you could more basically set it up. And like I said, even if you don't draw the ship, you can have the monsters face down. Then when you do get the ship, you could just add a normal monster and the fusion for the graveyard. So that's not typically that's not going to stop anything. And then also what it's called Explorer. That's what it's called. It's another dark galaxy type card is being limited to limited 3 now. Is Void Caldor. So if you have a dark type absolute monster, galaxy type monster in your graveyard, and send one card from your graveyard, then add one dark absolute monster from your graveyard. Okay. So just remember dark. Okay, Void Vel Clyde score is limited 3. So yeah, this does pose a problem. Yeah, that is definitely does pose a problem. The dark guys are gonna have it kind of hard. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for limited 3. Yeah, the strangest thing is that the light galaxy didn't even get hit that much. All right, so we have still Mech or Mech Lord Mirror Innovator. So this card is not like a problem anymore as it used to be because we don't even have that much machine type support. So I was just saying to myself, I'm like, it's about time for us to get a maximum monster back in Yugioh's other maximum monster. So we should be getting that. Otherwise, this gonna be the way how this is. Yeah, this card ain't doing as much as it did because the most decks we is uses galaxy type cards now. One thing I'm gonna tell you, like the deck that's gonna be used the most, that's gonna be banned. Probably the skill gonna probably be banned. Limited is the Salmon Grade is gonna be the next one that's gonna be coming up with that because it's gonna be definitely big. All right, so anyways, the next one is Execute Riding. So this card is off the ban list, which is surprising because when the box did was getting linked and everything, they had it said it was limited 3. I don't think they really said it, but it was linked on the Japanese website, and they said it was limited 3. But now they changed it. So, well, yeah. So one thing about that is that this card was typically used in the most other decks like Galaxy, Dark Galaxy, and the Sound Road deck. I don't never see it in the Dragons deck actually, so I'm not exactly sure. But otherwise, yeah, this is this is good that we exactly able to have a card like this. That this could come in this could be a good thing for you to use, so it won't interrupt your other strategies. So the good thing is this is coming on the 25th. All right, so the next card that's going to be coming, is Siege Dragon King Cardarius. So it's off the limit. It's not doing as much. We don't like the crazy thing is that the water, like the war type ones and the Rushdoor form and Duel Links, we don't have that much support of it. That's why I say like the crazy thing is that the sea service support will only be better if Fraser and his brother comes to Duel Links. Will probably just be more better. But depending on how the skill they're gonna have formatted for it is otherwise, but otherwise it's not gonna be doing anything of that sort. That just depends on you can use it. It's a way you can use it if you have more support of that, but otherwise now it's not gonna do much. And then the next thing we have Dragons Fall 2, which is up to ultimate. So yeah, this card is not posing a problem. It don't even increase the attack points that much often. Only by 700 or something like that. Like yeah, so it's not as much. So yeah, I'm glad it's off the list. That's good. And then we have meet and greet. So we not using Miss Mother is not being used that much as it used to be. Like early on, they was using it as much, but otherwise now they not. So that's all. It's not no skill changes either. All right. All right. So what I'm gonna do is check on the shadows deck. So as you can see, they do use some of the other cards that is with this. So more basically, they'll have to choose between superposition and this. And then like these fusion or the fusion card is not going to particularly be working. So yeah, they're using this. So but more basically, this ain't stopping the 11-3. It's not gonna stop it. All right, going to the Utopia. I think I went to that. Okay, I'm trying to go to the Utopia there. Yeah, so these are basically the cards that's up to the top of the list, and the resident is also part of it. Okay, it's supposed to be part of it. Okay, going to the Utopia. Yeah, I'm trying to go away the Cannibal Turtle. So more basically, they having basically cards that could draw, so they could be able to add more. Yeah, so this is they setup most certainly, and then they also had this. So I don't know how else. Yeah, because one thing I forgot that Utopia does double the attack points. Yeah, so the attack points be double when you exceed something that Utopia monster with the effect. So yeah, that's the way it is. But since it's banned, they're gonna have to change the strategy. So yeah, that's pretty much it from that conceptual point. So I'm trying to see if they have. Okay, let me check this. Okay. Yeah, so they don't have that card in there. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let us move on to the next one. All right, so we also have the Galactic Draw, so they got some of the cards that's. So these two cards. So one thing for sure, this is what I would do if I were to put this in the standpoint. I'll put for the transcendent card. I'm going to put one in there and then put either just. I'm gonna try to limit the secret order. The secret order will be one, and then I put the execute right in this thing. The fusion I reduced to two, and then for the pot of grain, I will sacrifice it for the pot of avarice, and then I use either negate attack or the constructive device, so it could be more balanced. Because I could reduce this and just had a two. Because the only reason why I had two strap, not the two of these, because it's not going to mean anything. Because most certainly is that what if I just have monsters in my opponent might end a turn, they might not have a monster that's stronger. They might not have enough monsters on the field to destroy all my monsters. So that's not going to. It's not going to matter. And then what we're going to do is move to the next deck. It's that so with Yugioh, which what I would do is so since that this is a little bit more different. Okay, so me trying to draw cards, what I would do is put pilot average with this tool. Yeah, this work with that. And then yeah, well this is the light galaxy, this is not the dark galaxy. Yeah, so let's just do the spellcaster. Okay, so for the spellcaster, so what I would do is take this out for the pilot average, and then for these two, take these two out, put negate attack because you're gonna need negate attack for that, and then use another trap. Use one of the ice thing trap card, I guess, or something. I forget what it called. Okay, let me see. So type more for this. Okay, that's not gonna work. I thought about it. It's not gonna work. All right. Okay, so use something like this or this thing to use this, and you could just try to add something like this. Just no, that's not gonna work. Okay, yeah. So that you could use something as that, and you could also use this too. So that this would be okay. Yeah, this would definitely do a good thing too. So all right, yeah, that's why I just say just use one of the other trap cards with this you can use, but most certainly you want to have the game type. They want to use those other two traps I just mentioned into that and be able to use that. And for the this limited three thing, I think I want you to one thing I want you guys to do is limit using this because for the most part is that you yeah because most part you're not gonna have monsters in your field. Put at least just put just one of these and just put like the execute right in there because you're gonna need it just in case they try to destroy your monster with that legend trap card, hammer smash or something like that. So that will be a more easy way for you to because I don't want you to have these because they not most certainly most of the cards is not gonna have they don't have that much traps. All right, so the next okay, I'm trying to sorry okay let me see. Okay, I'm not worried about the pyro deck. I'm trying to but it looks like there's a chaos galaxy, so I guess it's mixed with the galactic fusion draw. So I guess I'll do it. All right, so one other thing that you could do. So if you add in either could keep. So one thing for sure, since this is a different deck. So what if since you're using um Void Vigor Apocalypse, this could actually you can actually use a lot of things such as you can add 3 copies of these. Most certainly, well, just one. And then I want you to eliminate this because you don't want to send too many cards to your graveyard with this kind of card because you want to exactly have Oblivion on your field, especially because most partly the Apocalypse is not going to be useful until it's your second turn or not your very first turn, your second turn. So you can be able to use that. So and the good thing is you can use the Explorer card to add a normal Galaxy Infusion. So that's a good thing. So just make sure you limit that. And then you can use Pot Iris just to shuffle the other cards from your graveyard. Even though we got this, you want to make sure you want to shuffle as many cards and you can be able to send them again. So that's it for that one. That's how I would fix that one. So I never knew well I knew it, but I didn't know it was used that way. Alright, so now going to the Void Gear, Valgear. So since this is limited 3, you're getting 3 copies. You're gonna want to keep this. Have 2 of these. Keep this at 1. So one of they'll get Corridor, and then this could be swapped to Pilot Average, and keep this because most part you're gonna need this actually. All right, so then the rest of these right here is good. Just make sure you have some kind of trap. You got to make sure you have some kind of trap to protect yourself. Because you having no trap cards is going to put you in an advantage, especially against a lot of decks because they could do a whole lot of damage. But otherwise, from that, that's pretty much it for that. And then for this, so for the Salmon grade, so they have, this is a lot of cards, but the point is that you could do you could do a whole lot with this. This typical deck could have any pyro type monsters in the deck, which is basically gonna be the best deck. So it is already set in King of Games, according to the person who did it. So because the power ones don't have many cards that's limited, so it's not gonna be it's not gonna be So we'll just add Aris with this whenever the banlist go live on the 25th, and add the other traps. This you could just have one of these and then the 2 execute rider cards, and then keep this one. Then have that other trap card that can negate an attack just in case you have 1 pyro monster on your field. They do it. So these are good assets of the card. So this, and you adding this, like, I know this card may seem a little bit more weak because of the cards, the levels of the monsters. Whatever your opponent has, your opponent will summon weaker monsters. Because one of the things is that you can stop them from doing whatever kind of strategy they are doing, depending on what kind of cards you have. So, because most partly they're not going to have the bright kind of cards in their deck, since especially when the ban list comes live. So whatever that comes, so this does definitely work. So we're going to see how it does work in the brain battles, which I will be recording. So we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, that's it. So that's all I wanted to show you for this video. All right, so make sure you subscribe and drop a like, and I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.